Hi, I'm Emperor Tiberius Storm from the Empire of Calypso, and taking a little trip today with the dogs, with my girls, to the park, but I haven't been active, and I wanted to go over why that's been, talk a little bit about that, talk a little bit about what's going on within the Empire and abroad, and then maybe talk to Micronations a little bit about how you cope with things when there's downtime and you lose citizens and things happen. And I hope you can hear this. I'm going to try to balance the air conditioning. We're in the Florida area here, so try to balance the air conditioning levels and the windows open for the dogs. Hopefully you can hear me. But okay, so the elephant in the room. The Empire of Calypso has kind of been inactive for several months because, and you know, being the face of a nation, you never want to say, you know, I have a weakness or an illness or an injury or something, but I have a spinal condition, and I've been laid up. And with that comes some apprehension that things were going well, we were picking up citizens, we were starting to make some change, because I had gone through this a couple of years ago, and even last year I had a pretty bad year physically. Let's turn all up the windows here, sorry about that. So I've begun physical therapy, and I'm on light painkillers, and so that actually makes it harder to think and talk a little bit, and I can maybe mix my words, but I thought maybe it was time to get out in front of people again and talk a little and explain, and that might be better than just not talking at all and people thinking the Micronation's gone defunct, which it has not. So I'm here. Another thing is, I was in so much pain going back to last year that I had chipped my front tooth from gritting my teeth in pain. To give you an idea of how much pain I was in. So I chipped this front tooth jagged in two spots, two mountains or valleys chipped out of it, so my tooth was shaped like a W. It's my teeth, I have all my teeth. But COVID was in full swing, it kind of died off a little bit. We had a quarantine in my household. My son had gotten sick with COVID, and there were just some things, and then COVID picked back up again, and so I finally got back to the dentist. And here's the whole point of this, is that last year I wanted to get out in front of the issue of being injured and talk with people and let them know that things are okay, I'm okay, the nation is okay, things are a little slow. But I had this damn tooth that was like 3/4 the size of the other tooth, and if you look at my early videos, I look like I have one buck tooth and then maybe a tooth missing or something like that. So anyway, COVID kind of died down, and earlier this year I had the one that was chipped, saw it off, and then the two teeth were leveled, so I have nice teeth, and that's one little thing. But I was self-conscious, and maybe rightfully so. Who wants to be the leader of a nation with bad teeth in front of people? I always had pretty nice teeth, you know, and all of a sudden, from pain, which I couldn't help, I gritted my teeth and chipped my own tooth in doing so. So now part of my point with that is that during this slowdown, during what was going on, I got out, did some videos, contacted people behind the scenes. I did these videos feeling embarrassed, feeling self-conscious, but I did them anyway. Because it was fun and it was something I wanted to do. We're kind of prior to our newer endeavor on the internet with YouTube and Discord, some other things, we were primarily a community-based Micronation. And so we would get together and play some wiffle ball or do trash days, just some things in the community. So this was different. This was new. My face was going out in front of a lot of people. Everybody was seeing me, what the nation stood for, and I was embarrassed by it. But I did it because it's fun, number one, And two, I just felt like I needed to expand. The last time I had a back injury or a flare-up was right after a car accident, and it laid me up for a while, and it was kind of depressing. Like, it's hard when you don't have things to do, you know? So I did it regardless of the situation, and I made some new friends, and we had a couple new citizens join, and then I had a flare-up again. So for other micronations or micronationalists, even if you're a citizen or you're in the government of a micronation, you run a micronation, whatever, that it's important to keep doing things related to micronationalism. I would say the biggest hurdle is getting over slow times. I have a couple of videos that I've begun working on, and I'm going to kind of go back and forth here with things because they all overlap a bit, but one is about the Imperial Garden. We've been harvesting vegetables from it. It's something that we've been doing for the last 2 or 3 years. We've gotten better at it. I'm building a compost bin using a great big, I think it's a 75-gallon tote, a big water drum. Some people use them for water capture from their roofs or whatever. They're used to store paints, chemicals, whatever, but I got a clean one that had water in it, and I'm going to use part of it for our bin, and I'll elevate it. And anyway, composting is important for your soil. It certainly will help with the garden, so that's been going on. I ordered some of the stuff, I picked up some of the stuff, I got the tote, but physically I've been a mess. So I started physical therapy. I don't do well with painkillers. I wasn't the same person when I was on painkillers once before, so I only do the absolute minimum that I can tolerate, and sometimes still leaves me in a position where things are difficult to do. So here's another note for micronations. Be as active as you can be, especially when things are slow and things are down. If any of you have ever done sales, it's very important that you keep a working client base or customers, that you keep things going. You don't want to have the customers or the sales that you've been doing, once they sell and you make money or sign contracts or whatever, your business dries up. So you always want to have ongoing business. And it's just as important here in micronationalism, because if you're not seeking to keep your name out there, keep your citizens active and busy, you'll have people slow down in joining. I'm talking all backward here, I'm sorry, I'm in a busy area and I've got traffic all over the place. So I'm a little distracted and I'm on pain meds. But yeah, so if things get slow and you're not active, you'll get less applications for citizenship. Some of the citizens you had become bored and they move on. And that's especially true with our type of nation, because we're an activist nation. A lot of what we do is very hands-on. It's less internet-based. So it's a lesson hard learned. And it's hard to give up the reins and let other people just do things, because sometimes people don't drive. Sometimes people are in different locations and you need the internet for them to feel like they're part of what you're doing. You might be able to do it in your home area, but they live 100 miles or 500 miles away. We're here at the park. I'm going to walk around for a few minutes and I will be back. Okay, we are back. You can see how hot it is. They're panting. It says, you can read that, but it's 89 degrees outside. High humidity. So we are going home to the Imperial residence to go for a nice swim in the pool. Doesn't really count for much when you shower first thing in the morning, and then you go out in this humidity, and I'm winded. The girls walked me pretty good today. We walked at a pretty brisk pace, which is good, but it's also harder when I'm in pain. Oh, let me turn this down a little bit. I'm sorry. I don't know if you can hear me like that. I'm gonna play it without editing anyway. Anyway, the girls were good. This is gonna be for a good walk. Very hot. I did shower, but it's like so freaking hot and humid out here. Oh, that's another thing. I did shave. I didn't want to do a video without shaving, even if I'm wearing pedestrian clothing. I didn't want to come off as being a total dirtbag for our nation, and I don't know, it's one of my little hang-ups, I guess. But so in order to shave, I'm 6'5", 6'5" plus. I don't know if I've lost an inch or two since my spine started collapsing, but so I may be a little shorter now, but 6'5", 225 pounds. I'm a big guy, and with back issues, it's hard for me to do things at countertop level. So shaving this morning, first I went over with my electric razor and cleaned up, trimmed everything and cleaned up, but I was kneeling to do that, and then I cleaned up the sink. I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to physically shave the rest of it. So I did that also in a kneeling position. Took about, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, so it's not a big deal. But it's just one of those minor things that takes away from the fun of doing anything where you have to look good, put your face out there, where you feel you have to look good and put your face out there. But I will say that if you're a micronation, do what you do. Don't worry about it too much. I've had hat hair in videos where I've taken a hat off and then run the camera and didn't realize my hair was standing up in the back. Like, we're human beings too. So it's hard enough to come out and admit that I have a real physical disability here. But the micronation's carrying on. We're still going to set up some plans for things when I get back on my feet physically. But that's about it. I just wanted to go over kind of where we are, where I am physically, where we're working with some other micronations right now to possibly get some things done too. I'm lacking a bit in technology, the hands-on engineering when it comes to climate change mitigation, carbon collection, making solar panels, things of that nature. Hydroelectric, I don't have a running stream or anything nearby to do that, so I'm a little limited in that as well. But that's one thing I'm working on with another micronation. I talked to somebody else about seasteading. That's something that I've looked at for, I don't know, 10 or 15 years as a possibility. It can become very expensive. If you go offshore, it's very dangerous. You have to be able to get out of storms, high waves, winds, those types of things. And if you're just floating out there, that's a problem. But that's something that I'm talking with another micronation about. Talking about some trades with somebody else. Maybe just visiting a couple of the micronations in the future and maybe grabbing some videos of that. But so that's it. We're active. I have good days and bad days. I'm going to push through this. I used to go 100 miles an hour and just work out as hard as I could in physical therapy to get back to what I thought was healthy, or whatever my baseline was from day to day, year to year, whatever. And that hasn't really worked with this. So I have to take it in stages. I have to go slow. I have to listen to my body. When you're young and you heal pretty quickly and you kind of get past stuff pretty easily, that is pretty simple to overcome. You seem to make greater strides more quickly. You're more resilient. Your body responds. But I found over the last 10 or so years that my body tends to respond negatively at times, and I just have to keep things in perspective physically where I am. In reality, this does become a reality check. So we are going to say goodbye. There are my girls, my beautiful girls, Sheriff and Bandit. I would say one more thing. If you feel like you're having problems and you maybe don't want to go out there publicly with something, but you may want to join a micronation. Maybe you want to help. Maybe you contribute financially, or pick up trash, or save animals. Speak up for minorities. Try to help with climate change. Whatever the case may be. Subscribe, hit that like button, and post a response down there. Let me know how you feel about things, what you'd like to do. You can always hit us up. Check out the website at empireofcalypso.com. We have a Discord channel, a wiki page, so we're active, we're busy. I'm just slow right now. So that's it. Have a great day, and thank you for watching.